All right, well, let's call to order the Board of Directors meeting for Thursday, June 15th, 2023, 5:30 p.m. The meeting is being streamed live on Central Coast YouTube channel, and if anyone has public comments or questions, they can comment on the live stream, and the questions will be relayed to the board members and answered at the end of the meeting. We have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. And roll call, please.
Rita Eckerman.
Present.
Zach Aiken.
Here.
John
Here.
McCullough.
Here.
Kevin Battles.
Here.
Terry Woodruff excused. Quorum is present.
Okay. So at this time, we will open the budget hearing on the fiscal year 2023-24 budget. And are there any public comments on the budget? Okay, well, I guess we will close the public hearing on the budget and take up approval of the minutes. Has everyone had a chance to read the minutes from the regular Board of Directors meeting and the Budget Committee meeting, both held on May 18th? Do you have any additions, corrections? Or can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay. Citizen participation.
I have something to say. So as I'm my last time to be a citizen, I want to thank Kevin and Ray for their time here and everybody else that's on. And as I step into the seat over there, I hope you don't warn any bad spots in that chair.
Oh, there's some bad spots in this church.
I do appreciate Kevin that he stayed to, as he said he would, and he did what he's doing. So I appreciate that, Kevin.
Thank you,
I
sir.
will do the best I can to all you questions.
Oh, I don't know about that.
That's mine. You got anything here, citizen?
Just what you said. Thank you for serving.
Yeah, thank you.
And for everybody else,
Yes.
next month we'll talk about it.
Okay. So, staff presentations.
So for our call volume, I'll start with April because I don't think last month we did the call volume. I don't remember, honestly, because we were trying to get through everything quickly to do the budget meeting.
No, yeah, we didn't.
Yeah, so in April, we ran 8 fires, 55 EMS calls, 8 vehicle crashes, 1 water rescue, 12 lift assists, and 2 public assists for a total of 86 calls. In May, we ran 7 fires, 63 medicals, 2 vehicle crashes, 2 water rescues, 7 lift assists, and 4 public assists for a total of 85 calls. And in June so far, we've ran 5 fires, 21 EMS calls, 2 vehicle crashes, no water rescues, no lift assists, and 2 public assists for 30 calls so far this month that happened. So call volume did spike up over the last couple months there a little bit. A total of 397 calls so far this year.
Another got nicer.
Should be over 400 because I don't think anything counts today, right? So yeah, it's already over. Never mind.
Earning your keep.
Sure. Eric, you got any?
Yeah, so due to concerns last month, the boat now has a keyed ignition, and we do have and I got a couple quick stories about it. And we did take the GPS unit off of it, and we have it in So it's right next to where everyone would go in and get their gear anyway for the swim. And then they just grab that and the key, it's tied to the GPS unit so that it, which is also on a float, and they're made because most apparatus doesn't have keys. I made like 8 copies of it, so we have them, I have them stashed everywhere so that we can actually, if we need it, it's hidden and we also can use it. The camera is working very well at 12 o'clock one night. Well, we'll start with the dinner one, that was the best one. Me and Wendy were down having dinner at the Salty Dog, and the phone kept going off. So I started to get annoyed. I opened it up, and lo and behold, there's people crabbing right there, which they're not supposed to crab there anyway, according to court rules. And I couldn't, there was enough wind that because you can talk through these cameras, they couldn't hear me. It does have a siren feature on it, however, and it works really well. So it was enough that it scared them, and they would just immediately start pulling their stuff and took off down the dock. And then, of course, at 12:30 at night, the same thing happened. There were some people down there just crabbing right next to the boat. There was no wind there at that point, and so they were able to hear me. I told them to move along, and they proceeded to do that pretty promptly, so which is nice. The port does have all their cameras now and all the equipment to do, so next week I'm going to probably start that install, so that will be very heavily cameraed down there. The whole port will be, which will be nice. Yeah, and me and Wendy, I ordered some weight bags for the cover so that we didn't take flight. When we were putting the cover on, trying to put the cover on in the wind gusts, and me and Wendy went down on a day, I don't know, they all bleed together right now, and figured out a system to put it on in just the two of us, and about 5-6 mile an hour gusts, we're able to get the cover on it, so it is now fully covered. So
We figured if I could help put it on, anybody could do it.
yeah, so but it does have 6 weight bags all the way around it too. To not only is it strapped down, but it's got weight bags on the cover itself, so that it hang in the water, so to keep it down and around the boat. So, which is a big plus. Other than that, I've got hopefully. I'm shooting for our August workshop that we'll talk about, I'm thinking next month, but I've got a surprise for the board that I've been working on, so that'll hopefully be done by August, so it'll be kind of cool. It'll make us look a little more professional in my opinion, so. Other than that, everything seems to be working well, lots of work orders, so. Your turn, sorry.
I don't really have anything other than just a reminder for incoming, and I'll give you a reprieve in July, but starting August, we're gonna have to start working on updating the policies. There's not just the union stuff, but the paid leave Oregon stuff, and there's a couple other things I found that was suggested that we should have in our policies that I'll be putting in there. So it won't be like the whole thing, it'll just be certain sections. But it might be multiple sections just because of the union contract. But I'm not fully positive yet, but just a forewarning. So everybody loves doing policy updates.
Yeah.
Ken will get out of it.
Yeah.
Yay.
I think one thing that might be helpful especially for the new members, is if we are proposing changes to a particular section, to provide a lined out and bold, copy that
So-
won't be the final copy, but at least so they can see what we're changing from to.
So what I was gonna try and do is, because we just did it with our association bylaws, is all the changes will be in red. And then when we actually finalize it, then I'll just get rid of the red.
Right.
So it'll show what was there and
Yeah.
what's new, so that everybody can kind of see.
But if there's anything that we're taking out, then we can
Right,
just.
it'll
put it
crop.
on.
So it'll put it in red, and then we'll put a line through it. Like I already told them that I'm gonna send them next month, before the meeting. They're gonna get a whole bunch
Oh,
of
they get their
emails.
welcome packet,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're gonna get it via email, unless they want anything printed, because especially the biggest one is the policy book, but because we're gonna be updating it, don't see the point in printing it out for them. But everything's online too, so, and Rick honestly has most of the stuff anyway, so. That's all I have.
All right. we have a volunteer report?
We have, of course, bingo tomorrow night. We have, our jackpot's up to 731, and I don't know if you guys saw the post from last month. We were scrambling for chairs and had this place absolutely, honestly
Tables,
packed.
chairs.
I had to limit it down because we were pushing 50 people last month.
We were still at tables from our food area.
Yeah, we were, disassembling the food area just so we could have places for people to sit. Tomorrow night, there'll be one of the scholarship, possibly two of the scholarship recipients will be there. The ones that are
Potential
applied. Yeah,
recipients.
potential that applied, so to help out with the bingo. And they have actually filled out 2 volunteer applications, so they're gonna be volunteers. And then we have a third one gonna be coming on probably next week. He'll start his volunteer task book as well, so.
Great.
So he's former Navy SEAL, so it'll be fun. He's actually more interested in playing with the boat, so.
Nice. Okay, union report, probably
They're
not.
on call.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if they get back in time, they can always provide one. Finance report, Brett, you're up.
At the end of May 2023, the district ended the month with $560,957 of cash on hand. Levy funds through the year. We didn't receive the information from the county until yesterday as to how much to accrue for the month of May. So it did not make it into the financial report. So that's about $21,500. So year to date, without that 21,000, the district has collected $886,870, which is about 9% over budget. So for this year to date, 11 months, 9%. Equipment levy, $106,039, $447 over budget. Prior levy funds, $17,556. So that continues to come in pretty good. Communications equipment, we budgeted $14,000. We've only spent $1,317. So next month I'll do some resolutions. We'll probably roll that difference into a couple other areas. And get that squared away. Equipment maintenance is running quite ahead. $8,339 at the end of the month. We budgeted $2,750. So we'll take care of that next month. Building maintenance, we spent $9,774. That's for all 3 properties, excluding any of the rehab work that was done. So that's not bad. Vehicle fuel hasn't quite exceeded our budget of $16,400. So we're about $600 to go. We just passed that.
Need to coast for
Cut
the
the
rest of the
bill.
month.
So,
Yeah, we're running on fumes.
vehicle repair still pretty high, $29,702. So we budgeted 15. So anyway, that's about all I have.
Okay. All right. So we have a,
Make a motion to approve the financial report as presented.
do we have a second?
Okay.
Been moved and seconded to approve the financial report. All those in favor? Aye.
Make a motion to approve the expenditures. Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the expenditures. All those in favor?
Aye.
And then we have a budget resolution. This is the budget resolution from the hearing at which we had all that testimony. And I'll read it in the record, and I'll try to be as quick as possible here. Resolution number 2023-04, adopting the budget. Be it resolved that the Board of Directors of the Central Oregon Coast Fire and Rescue District hereby adopts the budget for for fiscal year 2023-24 in the total of $1,561,192 now on file at the main station located at 125 Halsey Highway, Boasrd, Oregon. Making appropriations. Be it resolved that the amounts for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2023, and for the purposes shown below are hereby appropriated. Personnel service, local general fund and local option fund. Personnel services, $876,990. Material and services, $248,310. Contingency, $20,000. Interfund transfers, 0, for a total of $1,145,300. Equipment reserve fund debt service is $22,000. Capital outlay is nothing, and for a total of $22,000. Total appropriations, all funds, $1,167,300. Total unappropriated and reserve amounts, all funds, $393,891, for a total adopted budget of $1,561,192. Imposing the tax. Be it resolved that the Board of Directors of the Central Oregon Coast Fire and Rescue District hereby imposes the taxes provided for in the adopted budget at the rate of 82 cents per 1,000 of assessed value, 82.09 per 1,000 of assessed value for operations, at the rate of 35 cents per 1,000 for assessed value for local option tax, and at the rate of $1.27 per 1,000 of assessed value for local option tax. And that these taxes are hereby imposed and categorized for tax year 2023-24 upon the assessed value of all taxable property within the district as follows. General fund, 0.8209 per thousand. Local option tax, 0.35 per thousand. Local option tax, 1.27 per thousand. Do I hear a motion to approve the resolution?
Sorry, I didn't hear it. Could you repeat that?
I move that we approve the motion as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 2023-04. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I have an additional resolution here that is basically a housekeeping measure. Every 10 years, we need to reapprove the equipment reserve fund. And so this would be resolution 2023-05, a resolution regarding continuance of the equipment reserve fund. Whereas Central Oregon Coast Fire and Rescue District has the need for the reserve fund established by the General Governing Board of the Central Oregon Coast Fire and Rescue District on May 15, 2008 for the future purchase and or maintenance of equipment. And whereas the cost of said purchases or maintenance is such that funding in 1 year may not be practical, therefore be it resolved that in accordance with ORS 294.525, Central Oregon Coast Fire and Rescue District hereby agrees to continue the reserve fund for the purpose of purchasing and or maintaining equipment. It is further resolved that the reserve fund shall be known as the Equipment Reserve Fund, and be it further resolved that the need for this fund will be reviewed in 9 years from the date of this resolution, or sooner if the board desires. Approved and and that's the sum total of the resolution.
Make a motion to approve the resolution as read.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 2023-05. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Do we have any correspondence?
None.
Do we have any old business? Do we have any new business?
Got any?
Do we have a chief's report?
Yes. So Chief's report, go through the grants. So now that we know the outcome of seismic, we're gonna get back in touch with the Ford Family Foundation, and either the association or the district will be going forward to the foundation to try to secure funds to start making improvements to the building. The priorities are, number one, the siding, number two, the bay doors, and then number three, the roof. So we're gonna try to see if we can get enough money to at least do 2 out of 3, if not all 3 of those projects. What that requires is in-kind from the community. They like to see some level of in-kind donation from the community to kind of show that the community supports the organization as well as the Ford Family Foundation. So we've got some ideas on that, and we'll put that on the agenda for our workshop. So still working with the FEMA Brick Foundation for getting a generator that will power the entire facility. We had the power outage that kind of came out of nowhere the other day, and we had to, manually open the bay doors like normal, but then we had to secure the bay doors open with creative thinking to keep them from coming back down on when the trucks are moving in and out. So that just shows we need a generator, because the generator would have just opened the doors automatically in the event of a power outage, and we wouldn't have had to worry about it. So the plan is to reapply in December for the seismic grant. Whether or not we're going to have McKinsey's help on that or not, I don't know yet. We're still waiting to hear from them. The 2 AFG grants, the fiscal year 21 is still impending. I brought it up at the Fire Defense Board today. Depot Bay Fire has an AFG fiscal year 21 grant that's also sitting in pending still. And so what they were able to find out is the funding for fiscal year 21 for all the extra projects that are going through is the American Relief Act funding. And so they're still trying to go through, and as government does their job and frees the money up, they're still awarding for those fiscal year 21 projects. So we've been through the award phase, now we're in the funding phase. We'll find out sooner or later if we get funded and we get another tender or not. Surprisingly, the fiscal year 22 is flying right by with their normal evaluations, because that's already funded through a different source. We may actually find out the outcome on our fiscal year 22 AFG before we find out the outcome on our fiscal year 21 AFG. It's a possibility. So we did get the OSFM grant for staffing, so we got $28,000 given to us on top of the $7,000 we held over from last year for wildland staffing. So we're trying to put a third rider on the engine every day. So we've got that kind of in a stipend format. We did get awarded $3,500 from the Siletz Charitable Contribution Fund, the Tribal Contribution Fund, and we were trying to buy a Lucas device for CPRs. It's about $17,000 for one of those. So we told them, $3,500 is not going to be enough to buy the device. What could we do with the $3,500 instead? And then just coincidentally, a couple days later, I got an email from OHA that said, hey, last year we saw you applied for a Lucas device and you did not get awarded. This year we have funding left over. Do you want that device? And so of course I replied and said yes. And so they're looking at the funding and to see if they could free up the remaining funds with our $3,500 we've already been given to go buy that device. So we should know on that here pretty soon. We have one ODF grant that's pending, and that's for radio communications and suppression equipment for this wildland season. They haven't handed the awards out for that yet. I'm guessing that's going to be really soon, considering we just entered into fire season. So, on May 28th, was it the 20th or 26th? 28th.
Well, we did the 26th, but
Yeah.
the rest of the county was the 28th.
Yeah. So on the 28th, the county entered, that no more burning season, and close the debris burning season. And then on June, I want to say June 6th.
Ninth.
Or June 9th, thank you. Can't keep the days straight right now. June 9th, ODF opened up fire season. Both of those are way ahead of schedule for our normal times. Normally, we wouldn't even consider closing burning down until about the 4th of July timeframe.
Yeah.
Our weather patterns, the amount of moisture we're getting, even just in the mornings, versus the amount of dry air and sunlight we're getting on vegetation right now, we're in fire season, and the further you go up 34 in our district, the drier it gets. So our district spans 2 of the wildland areas for the region. So area 1 is basically the coastline, and then area 2 starts about the latter part of Tidewater. And in area 2, we're already at moderate, and in area 1, we're still at low. So I see those jumping up over the next month though. So
It's dry. I've been digging in the backyard and it's just like dust everywhere. It's
Yeah.
crazy dry right now.
yeah, we've had 4 wildland fires this year already.
It's insane.
So, just in our area. So, we have the potential for having a bad fire season. So, then in terms of upcoming surplus, we haven't received all of the new hose yet, so I'm not gonna surplus off the old stuff until we receive all the new stuff. So,
Do we need new hoses?
we got a grant for new hose, and so I purchased a bunch, but it still hasn't come in yet. So,
Yeah, just give me shit.
yeah. We had a hose, we had a fire this last week, and one of our hoses burst on the fire because it was just old
Yeah.
wildland hose. That stuff gets beat up really bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as soon as we filled it with water, it just turned into a fountain.
Oh, really?
So we had to replace it out real quick to get back to operations.
We kind of have a leak, is what was said on the fire.
My wife said, she's like, hey, we'll leave the hose.
We had a water fixture to keep us relaxed while working on the Yep. Other than that, I'm pulling shifts right now. Eric's pulling shifts right now, trying to alleviate our overtime costs to get, through, at least through the end of July, when our staffing goes back to normal. So we've got 1 person out for paternity leave, we have 1 person out on medical leave, and then we have another person who's out on a cruise right now, vacation. They come back at the end of next week, and then the other 2 come back, 1 in the middle of July, hopefully, if everything goes well, and then 1 at the end of July.
Unless
So-
his wife kicks him out sooner.
Yeah, so by the end of July, we should be back to normal staffing again. But in the meantime, Eric and I are helping take on shifts to keep the overtime budget from breaking.
And it is much appreciated.
Yep. And that's all I've got, unless there's questions.
No, I don't.
I'll have more once we do our goal setting session.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I don't really have anything from the President's report. Do we have any questions or comments from the citizens?
Nope, I just looked.
I do have 2 items under the good of the order. One is, every time we have an election, the board needs to approve the abstract of votes. And the abstract of votes made it in yesterday, which certainly wasn't in time for making it in the packet. It's, it's basically a formality, and what it does is the board is acknowledging the outcome of the last election. And so, we had copies distributed. I think some of us actually got ours in our own personal mail, along with a certificate from the county. Congratulations, you got elected. But I would like a motion to formally accept the abstract of votes.
I think the lyrics were rigged. I want a recount.
Okay.
second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the abstract votes. All those in favor?
Aye.
And I don't think there was anyone opposed. Okay, and the final thing I have is, unfortunately, this is Mr. Battles' last
Fortunately,
meeting.
huh? I think that's pretty cool.
I'm saying unfortunately, I'm not sure he shares the same sentiment. I do have certificates of appreciation, both for Mr. Battles and Mr. Woodruff. We'll see that Mr. Woodruff gets his certificate of appreciation. Basically just says that Central Oregon Coast Fire and Rescue Certificate of Appreciation presented to Kevin Battles, board member from 2016 to 2023, in recognition for your passion, unconditional commitment, and enduring dedicated service to the district and citizens.
Thank you.
And I'll sign it and hand it over to you. I'm not going to be, don't need no handshakes or anything. We'll just
Yeah.
be informal.
Yeah, I appreciate everything everybody's done for me over the time. I've been here through a few fire chiefs and quite a few different board members. And
You?
and no, I just appreciate all the advice and guiding me through. 'Cause, especially at the beginning, I had no clue what I was doing and feeling my way around a blind room. And I super appreciate those original board members I was with. Definitely guiding me through those first couple of years, so I really appreciate those guys and appreciate you guys making it easier for me not to have to stay on this board. So I appreciate you guys running. So yeah, that's all I got. Thank you guys.
Well, we all appreciate you for your dedication too.
You'll be missed.
Yes.